Welcome to another episode of Just Cooking. I'm your host, Bassam Al-Alawi, also known as B. The Maker. Follow me on Instagram. I hope you're having a fantastic and blessed Ramadan. Today's dish is actually one of my favorites, and it's so easy. It only has 8 ingredients that are so easy to find, and the beauty of it is that any leftovers, I'm going to tell you what you're going to do with that. What I have over here is a pot of vegetable stock that I'm bringing up to temperature. I want to get it to a rolling boil because I'm going to be using that to blend up this carrot and coriander ginger soup. It is so good. And we put an obnoxious amount of ginger in here, but have no fear, it's actually very delicious. So what I have over here is some onions that I've roughly chopped, some carrots that I've roughly peeled and chopped, some ginger that I've peeled, and some leftover coriander stalks. I want the stalk for this dish. I don't want a lot of the leaves. We can garnish the leaves in the end, or with the leaves in the end anyways. I've got some coriander seeds and some Tunisian harissa paste, right? This is gonna give it that kick, the heat that we need. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take some pumice olive oil, and you want pumice here, you don't want extra virgin. Extra virgin is not for hot cooking. And I'm gonna add it to my cooking vessel, right? That's perfect. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna saute these onions. We don't wanna add too much onion, right? Because this is not a curry, it's a soup. So you wanna keep all the flavors very light and subtle. Soups are usually eaten before a meal, right? Or for a meal. If you're a vegan or vegetarian, why not? It's hearty enough, right? So I've added these onions in my oil, and I'm gonna bring them up to temperature, and once they start sizzling, we're gonna continue doing that, right? But in the time being, I'm gonna take that stalk of ginger that I have here. It's beautiful, it's perfectly peeled. Put some of that coriander back in there. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grate it. I'm gonna take just any normal grater that you have at home, and you wanna use this sharp end right here. I'm not sure if you can see this star pattern cutter, right? And the reason we're using this is I don't want the fibers from the ginger to end up in your soup, okay? It's just not gonna taste good, and it doesn't blend well. Well, maybe if you're using like a NASA grade blender or a Vitamix, sure, but not everybody has one of those. So I can hear that the onions are sizzling, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give that a grate. And what you'll notice, I'm not sure you can, I love that sound, it's so comforting. And what you're gonna notice is all those fibers, the fibers that you cannot grate end up on the outside, and you just get this like juicy, perfectly minced ginger on the inside. Now what I'm gonna do is just continue to finish up this whole piece. I know it seems like a lot of ginger, but trust me, it's gonna taste delicious. There's gonna be a lot of liquid in this dish, so it's gonna dilute that spiciness that you usually get with ginger, right? And we keep going. Once I'm done, we'll be back and we'll stir this bad boy up. So we've grated all that ginger, and you can see all that fiber is kind of stuck on the outside here. And I just grabbed like a handful of parsley that I had lying around. I'm just gonna rip that up and put it in the stock. I'm honestly not a big fan of parsley, except for finishing dishes maybe, and not too much. I'm not too worried about the stock, so I'm doing this kind of rough. I wanna kind of just perfume that stock, which already smells like amazing. Awesome. All right. These onions have been sauteing, and I don't want to take them to that stage where they're like caramelized. It's not the point of this dish. We want to keep all the flavors as light as possible. So at this point, as the oil is bubbling just around there, I'm going to be adding some coriander seeds, and it might look like a lot of coriander seed, but it is okay. It's going to just add a lot of flavor, right? Trying to get those stalks out of there. Yeah, there you go. Now, if you don't like coriander seeds, which tend to blend up, because we're gonna blend this soup once it's complete, you can use coriander powder, it's fine. I just really like the seeds. I think they hold their fragrance better, and once they hit that oil, they're just really perfumed. Oh, got a little bit of parsley in there, but no worries. So this is about a tablespoon. Again, it might look like a lot, but it'll be fine. I personally like to buy it on a few pieces as I'm eating the soup because they just like burst the flavor. Again, if you don't like that, that's fine. You can always use coriander powder, nice and fine, blend up, won't even be able to see it. But you do want that coriander flavor. Now, I can smell, right? I can smell those seeds, and and they're gonna start to kind of pulp a little bit. That's when I'll know that I can add my chili paste. There we go. I can hear that little popping sound. I don't know if you can, but I can. So this is Tunisian harissa paste, and there's Syrian harissa paste if you like. And I'm only gonna add half of this. If you like spicier foods, fine, awesome, add more of that. But this kind of fermented chili paste adds an acidity and a fruitiness that is really nice and marries really well with carrot, right? So I'm just gonna add that in there. As soon as that hits the oil, I can smell like fresh, red, fruity chili. It's really nice. Just gonna give that a quick saute. Oh man, if you can only smell this. It's so fresh. And the ginger hasn't even gone in yet. Lovely. That's perfect. This is now ready for the ginger. And I'm gonna take this ginger, which I've grated. I threw in some chunks in there, why not? A little fiber never hurt nobody. And I'm just gonna saute this. Beautiful. The ginger and the chili and the coriander, it's a very fragrant soup, right? And it marries really well, like all together. You won't be able to tell that you've had these individual components. It's just one cohesive flavor. I love it. So at this point, I can smell everything that I've put in here. I'm gonna put some roughly chopped carrots. These have been peeled. The pieces, it's okay if they're large. They're gonna be blended. You just wanna cook them until they're nice and soft, and then you know that they're ready for the blender. In they go. Listen to that. I love that sound. The sound of a good sizzle. Once that goes in there, I'm gonna just give that a saute. And I'm gonna grab my towel here because that edge has been killing me a little bit. Look at that. Brilliant. Phenomenal. So I'm just gonna give that a saute. I think it's ready. So what I'm gonna do now is slowly but surely add some of my vegetable stock. And I'm gonna use this cleaned up, ready to go Pyrex dish to kind of scoop the stock out and just pour it in here. It's just way easier and it'll take less time. There we go. I mean, look at that. With all that parsley, it's divine looking. Let me pour it in there. And we're gonna bring it up gently to a boil. And once this boils up, and I feel like the carrots are done, I'm gonna put them up, whiz them up in a blender, garnish them with a bit of coriander, and you're done. Of course, never forget that you gotta salt and pepper all your food. I'm gonna salt it a little bit now. I don't want it to get too salty, right? And I'm using pink salt today. I've said in previous episodes that I do like kosher salt as well. Kosher salt does not have any iodine in it, so it has a cleaner flavor, doesn't adjust your food. And I'm gonna add a bit of black pepper. Actually, my mistake, that's white pepper. There we go. Give that a mix. Perfect, that looks great. And what I'm gonna do, even though it's pretty premature at this point, I am gonna taste it. Where's my spoon? There is my spoon. All right. There we go. I'm just gonna taste that broth, see what the combo is like, if it needs anything else before it goes into the blender. Nice, warm. I'll finish it off with a bit of vinegar. It'll be perfect. When we come back, this will be ready to blend up. All right? See you in a bit. So what I've done is I've boiled up the carrots and I've made sure they're super tender. I've taken a little bit of it, put it in the blender and gave it a good blend. The rest of it I'm gonna save up because this is such a great dish to save and reuse in an upcoming episode where I'm gonna make an oven braised chicken with this carrot soup as the braising liquid. It's gonna be awesome, so make sure to tune in for that one. For now though, I have this blended up soup and I'm gonna add a bit of cider vinegar just to give it a brightness. Not too much. I like a bit of a kind of sour soup, but if you don't, that's fine too. And what I'm gonna do is just plate it a little bit. What I did was, while I blended it, I threw in some coriander as well. And I'm gonna garnish it later. Look at that, nice and chunky. A beautiful hearty soup. What I'm gonna do now is take some of these leaves, garnish that on top, and then If you'll notice, in the residual soup, you've got a little bit of that oil on top with some seeds, right? Gonna take some of that and just pour it all over. So that oil kind of floats on top and seasons the soup for you. And that's it. My delicious carrot and coriander ginger soup to warm the deep recesses of your heart. Hope you're having a blessed Ramadan. Stay grateful, stay blessed, stay safe, and enjoy this soup. I'm actually gonna drink it. It's pretty good. It's nice, it's light. See you next episode.